what is the number one question that you get from men and from women?
I think that these days, it's not so much how to have an orgasm. It's not so much how to have an erection. It's more a question about boredom. It's always the same position. We don't talk enough about it, and we don't really have enough interest of having sex. That's a big problem.
Yeah.
Avoiding sexual activity is a sign that something is wrong in the relationship, or that sex has not been satisfactory.
Right.
So sometimes that's the time to go and see a sex therapist and say something, we like each other, but something seems not to be so interesting anymore.
A lot of millennials also watch porn together. Is that something that you suggest?
I have, first of all, here is something for your magazine to suggest.
Okay.
I would like to bury the term pornography.
Okay.
Let's bury it. However, let's use it, and let's just tell another term. And the other term should be sexually explicit material, because the word pornography has bad connotations. Like they stopped using the word prostitute, they're now using sex worker. Let's bury US magazine, let's bury the term pornography.
Okay.
Sexually explicit material, yes, to be used, not for children. The bedroom door has to be locked.
Yes.
But use it to leave the worries about a job, to leave the worries about somebody having said something not nice about you. So any of the things that happen in daily lives, to leave that out and use sexually explicit material in order to get sexually interested,
Okay.
in order to have that arousal.
That stimulation. What about sex in public?
Definitely not.
Definitely.
Period. Next question.
Sex stays in the bedroom.
However, in public, in your fantasy.
Okay.
Wonderful. Here is a new fantasy for us magazine. Make believe that you have sex with your significant other at the beach, and everybody is watching you. The whole beach of Jones Beach, or wherever it is assembling and watching you. Wonderful. In your fantasy.
I don't know if you want to have sex on Jones Beach.
Only in your fantasy.
Only in your fantasy.
Not in reality.
Not in reality. I mean, it's been a few years from now, but 50 Shades of Grey was so popular, and Bondage and being tied up. Is that something that you recommend as well?
No, I don't recommend anything. But
Okay.
if somebody likes Bondage. Now, the 50 Shades of Grey taught us an important lesson. They used to think that women don't get aroused by fantasies or by sexually explicit literature. Not so. Lady Chatterley's Lover, The Fear of Flying, 50 Shades of Grey taught us women do get aroused, and they should use it. The worry about a boss whom you don't like, the worry about maybe somebody being sick, all of those things push aside and use any of that material in order to be aroused and to have a good sexual experience. So we know, but we should have a little more research. Your magazine should try to have more research on that in terms of what is good sexual arousal in terms of literature, in terms of fantasy, in terms of movies, and what is kind of changes almost into mental illness in terms of hurtfulness.
Right. So what do you think millennials get right and wrong about sex?
So one of the things, they think that they know it all. Here is something I'm going to tell you that I would like you to do a survey.
Okay.
If anybody really knew about that. In terms of sexual arousal, there is something that just before a female has an orgasm, that in French it's called le petit mort, the little death. I would like to know if millennials know about this, that during sex, during arousal, just before the orgasmic response, there is a moment when nothing happens. And many women think, okay, it's not going to happen, forget about it, we'll try again tomorrow. Not so. Loud and clear, millennials. Continue stimulating, continue the thrusting or whatever you are involved in oral sex or whatever you do, until you have an orgasm. That's not widely known, that there is that moment before the orgasmic response. The other thing that's not widely known, but that's for older people, that men should have sex in the mornings when the testosterone level is highest, when it's easier to have an erection. And that's also something that many couples, younger ones and older ones, don't know.
Don't know, yeah.
Also, they do not know that women do, it's not true that women don't like sex in the morning, but they should have a good night's sleep, get up, both of them, go to the bathroom, have a little breakfast, go back into bed.
Okay.
Because it's easier for a woman after a good night's sleep to have, at a certain age, to have an orgasm. So there are things here that are specifically for younger people, and then there are things here that are for everybody.
Okay.
For example, younger people tell me they want to have threesomes. I see you smile. In my book, in my way of thinking, nonsense. Because somebody gets hurt.
Yeah.
If there's a threesome, somebody is going to be a better lover. Somebody is going to be more interested,
Right.
or more interesting. And if you want to have a threesome, can I tell you a secret? Use your fantasy.
Okay.
Use your but keep your mouth shut.